All right.
Here we
Hello,
go.
hello, everyone. We are starting our first official quarterly Astrocast. Um, we're doing this live in my Facebook group, but we're also going to turn this into the podcast. And then I know that Lacey and Mary here are going to be going, I think, live in my Facebook group as well, maybe every week. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say here is that we have these lovely astrology ladies, coaches joining us again today. They've been on the podcast before. They are so like just extremely helpful when it comes to all things astrology. And what we do is we tie that back into helping you to run a more successful life coaching business and just have more success with working with your clients and ease in your relationships, being able to understand humans better, just all the different ways you can apply astrology um, to coaching, running a coaching business, and beyond. So I asked them if I could join them live today because we've got some really big stuff coming up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to feel about it yet. We'll dive into that today. So Mercury retrograde starting today, and
You're
then
welcome, world.
yes.
April Fool's Day. Are you kidding me? Right?
Yeah, and so then on top of that, then we had this lunar eclipse, and then we have this really big solar eclipse happening on April 8th. So there's a lot of shit happening. I've been feeling it. I'm feeling it. I could barely sleep last night. So where do we begin? Where should we begin?
Barely sleeping. Yes, me
The
too.
eternal question.
If you have Aries in your chart at all, like you and I have, Krista, Aries moon, and Mary has an Aries Mars, Aries peeps be feeling it because Mercury's retrograde. So like stumbling over words, having tech issues. Like I just had a tech issue that I had to like friggin' solve for right now. Like it's a lot of stuff. But like the good things are that there's a lot of reflection, right? Reflection on ego,
Yes.
because Aries has to do with ego. So wherever Aries is in your chart, so self-reflecting on your ego, how have you dumbed it down when you were a child, or like how have you repressed that part of yourself, or like you need to reparent? Where do we need to reparent our ego? It's not a bad thing, right? It's something to be embraced and reflected on. Like my little reflective hearts, I'm like, reflect on your ego and say yes to, what makes you feel good now, empowered now. There are things that when I was a kid that was like, adults will get frustrated with me because I'm like, what, you don't want to wear flowers? And they're like, don't do that in public. Ew. And now I'm like, why not do that in public? And so we're kind of re-embracing things that when you were growing up were considered, awkward or whatever. And now you're older and you're like, is it though?
Okay, so we're going to reflect on our ego,
Yeah.
reparent our ego,
Yes.
and maybe some things in our childhood that we were told was shameful or embarrassing or not to do. Now we can maybe reevaluate that and start doing that in our own unique damn way.
Yes.
Boldly.
Applaud. Perfect. Go, Mary.
Boldly, right? Aries, bold. Be bold. Like Lacey, right? Completely unapologetic about the amount of flowers that she has right now. Right? It's not going a little bit, it's going all, right? It's Aries. We have a lot in Aries right now, like collectively too. Like we've had Chiron going there for a while. North Node is transiting through there, right? So everybody's feeling a little bit of like karmic, where's Aries in your chart? Karma's kind of, you know. Yeah,
Something to
Aries
be
is
aware of
lit.
though. I was thinking about the Aries, the retrogrades, right? So you're going to feel things are going to pop up that you're going to feel impulsively. I should sign this contract. I should say yes to this. I should say yes to this. So something to note, if you're going to do something long term, right? If you've already been thinking about doing something long term, do it. And you're like, oh my God, I'm going to jump today. I've been thinking about this for forever and I'm jumping today. That's fine. If somebody comes up to you and they're like, oh my God, we should be partners forever, and it's not something you've been like thinking about or dwelling on, right? And they're like, I love your energy, we should be together forever today. And like, don't say yes to that, right? Don't say yes to something that's popping up in your world right now, but certainly say yes and use the Aries impulsive energy. If it's something you've already been thinking about and you're like, ooh, I am going to say yes to myself, then that is a different.
That's so funny. I feel like I'm gonna be saying this all the time. It's so funny you said that because I decided to get my ears pierced this weekend. I've been sitting on it for a year and I put a third hole into my earlobes. And I was like, why all of a sudden did I just feel called to do this? So that makes
Yes.
so much sense.
Yes.
But then also I know we're in Mercury retrograde and we're not really supposed to be signing contracts at this time either. So what's the middle ground there?
The middle ground is if you've been in talking about a contract for a while now, right?
Oh, okay.
Then you can be like, go ahead with that. If it's something that like pops up today, you're like, let's go to a car lot today and look at a car because I feel like I want to. And then you're looking at a car and you're like, oh my God, we should say yes to this car. Oh my God, today. Like, don't do that one. Go home and think about that one. Come back and sign on that one, right?
Okay.
Don't do things that are going to give you massive debt today unless you've been like thinking about it, something you
Right. When
wanted.
like impulse decisions pop up during Mercury retrograde, it could
Yes.
be something you regret. If it's something you're already thinking about and you dot the line, dot the
Right.
I's and stuff during retrograde, it's not quite the same, right? You might come up with more like road bumps or technical things, right? Like the signing might not be as smooth, right? But if it's something you're already considering, you're just
Right.
going into it knowing it could be a little bit bumpy versus full on regret, possibly, complete buyer's remorse when things go
Yeah.
direct.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The other thing is
Yeah.
like manifesting during this time, right? So eclipse season, the reflective light that we get, right? It's being eclipsed. It's being compromised in a way, right?
Eclipse.
So manifesting is actually kind of not the goal right now. And I know Krista's a Capricorn, so how do you not do this? Right?
You're asking cardinals
how do you not breathe?
Yeah, F
Right.
you, Mary. You can't ask a cardinal not to cardinal.
Okay, I have a Saturn Capricorn, right? And it is it's painful enough to not manifest with that. So I can't imagine like Cap Sun. But like what am I even doing with myself if I'm not like, what's next? How do I do this? How do I conquer it? Right. And like between Mercury retrograde and eclipse season, it's kind of the worst thing you could do right now is to try to like push or make things happen because it's like a body check. It's like you're not really in control right now. So the reflectiveness, the inwardness, that's always good during Mercury retrograde, right? Because we know that outward is where we have problems. Talking to other people is a lot harder than to maybe like go introspective. But then with eclipse season, I think piggybacking on that too, right? What can I go? So for me, I want to solve money issues. And I'm like, I can't, right? Can't manifest like, a pile of money right now. That's not the thing. Instead, maybe I'll go inward and look at money wounds, right? And look at healing and try to dive deeper on what exactly my wounds are instead of just trying to manifest, right? Because right now that's actually not, I feel like you would equate it to like running up an endless hill, right? Like it's not gonna be, it's not gonna like, you're not gonna harvest anything from it. So don't kill yourself doing this work right now. Instead, you can make a lot more happen right now by like,
Going
focusing on
inward.
you. Yeah, inward.
What is natural.
That again, that makes so much sense. 'Cause I'm dating this guy right now, and all of a sudden I just felt like just a lot of stuff's coming up because we're going into retrograde. And so I told him, I was like, I need to like for a little bit just step back from the relationship, and I need to like sit with some things are coming up. And I didn't feel like that a month or two ago. So that feels like that's really in alignment with what you're saying is like, don't really like put goals on the relation. We kind of had that talk. What are we doing here? And it feels like it's not like time to move forward in the relationship, but just sit back and see like, yeah, what's there? Because there's definitely some things coming up. So thank you for that. That feels that I already made the decision, but I feel like better about the decision now.
They're like, I know why it's happening now, right? Like,
Right. Yeah. Okay. And so since you said I totally forgot we're in Aries season. I have an Aries moon. I know that's all about, I know you do too, Lacey, and it's all about like go bold, like go
yes.
bold or go home.
Yeah.
So do you think when coaches are creating their content, whether it's social media or blogs or podcasts or YouTube, like there should be going bolder in their content right now?
Yeah. And then I think it'll also be triggering, which is maybe the point.
Yeah.
Right.
Triggering
Like
in what way?
Chiron's in Aries too. Right. So maybe people who feel sensitive about bold things coming at them or in their face, right? They're going to be forced to look at why is that triggering, right? Because it's introspection for all of us. So the answer is yes, we should, right? We're in Aries season, we should go bold and maybe even a little risky, right? Like a little bit.
Whatever it is that you go
face.
bold with, just own it, right? That's the secret to Ariesing, I feel, right? Is if you go bold, just own it, baby, right? Like,
It's
so that
kind of
way
a
if somebody
don't
comes up to you, they're all
overthink it. Yeah.
like in your case, Krista, where you wrote that amazing book, Beyond the White Picket Fence, right? You write this book, that is a bold book. That's putting you out there, right? And so the key to that is, yeah, what if somebody comes up to me and goes, oh my God, I saw that you wrote this book. Oh my God, it's a little scandalous, right? And Aries goes, yes, and you want to talk about it? Because I can. That is the Aries boldness, right? So whatever it is that you put out there, just own it, even if it's a mistake. Now that's the hardest one, I think, right? Every Virgo ever cringes at a mistake. I have a lot of Virgo. So you even own the mistakes, right? Let's say, oh my God, I went bold and now I'm like, oh shit, right? Like, oh, maybe not, own the, be like, oh man, that was a huge mistake. You know what I mean? Like, just own whatever it is that you do. That's it.
Okay. Great. This is good. Okay, so we talk anything else we should know about with like creating content? So we're going bold, we're going risky, might trigger people. We're gonna have the mentality, yes, and we're gonna own mistakes if that happens. Anything else with content wise we should be aware of during this time?
I think people that feel comfortable going vulnerable, there could be healing in that, right? Like we're all maybe feeling this Aries Chiron energy, right? The sun is there making Chiron feel even bigger, I think, like, or brighter. So we're all feeling that to some extent. And now a lot of us are going introspectively, whether we like it or not, right? Like whether you're somebody who wants to do that necessarily. So I think about the people who we talked about on the last podcast who maybe don't feel comfortable being vulnerable, and like that's okay too. Right. But if you are somebody who feels like sharing the kinds of stuff you're going through, I think that would be really valuable content, because everybody to some extent is going to be facing like what hurts and why, and why am I feeling like this? Why am I thinking about it more? Why can't I talk? Like those things are going to be like on everybody's mind. So that would make, I think, really valuable content.
And other things I think are valuable content too right now is everything's in Pisces. Saturn's there. Saturn's going to be there a long while. So that's like reflecting on vintage art. So your content, if you're reflecting on like vintage art, vintage music, add that into your content. That's going to be popping for a hot minute now. If you can add vintage things, because it's Saturn and Pisces, that's old music, right? Like that's vintage ways of dressing too, right? That's like vintage makeup because it has beauty stuff in it, right? Vintage ways of doing things,
Okay.
And I also think that Pisces Saturn, that Pisces pile up energy that we've got right now. It's so funny. I just saw a commercial for like a credit card or something where it was like, I'm returning all these crystals because I don't need it. I don't need the luck anymore. And the woman gets all like crazy and she's like, no returns during Mercury retrograde. And the lady's like, fine. And she takes all her crystals. And I was like, this is mainstream right now because of fucking Pisces, Saturn, right? Like this is a
I
commercial
love that.
that everybody's just accepting, right? So I think it's also a safe time to bring whatever woo-woo stuff you like
Bring the
into your,
woo.
right? Bring
Yes.
that into your marketing. Bring that in. What, it's that Aries unapologetic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
If you're leaning
Mary.
into astrology, if you're leaning into human
Crystals,
design,
tarot, right?
crystals,
For
exactly.
spirituality, right? There's like a resurgence of that right now, right? So I
Right,
think,
post your tarot cards that you're pulling
oh
and
yeah.
stuff. Like that would be awesome content right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Great, great ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of coaches working with their clients, what maybe issues or patterns or things might they see coming up with their clients during this time?
Yes. Mercury retrograde is always a time where if you are signing clients during that time, know that there is sort of a higher degree that they may renege. So figure out what you need, right? In case that does happen, like what is a plan for you to take care of yourself as you take care of the person who you want to help, right? Coaches just want to help the world, right? So like have a thing in place, like what's a good middle ground there, you know what I mean, for
Or
that.
like build it in.
Yeah,
right?
build in the
Somehow.
renege, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
like because I
Let's
know
do a
that
trial
happens.
of this
Mhm.
and see if you're still feeling it at the end of April, right? Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
So being aware of that, right? And then so with your clients, be aware that they might be misspeaking, right? Especially if they have Aries, they might be like stumbling over their words, having extra hard times with writing things, right? Saying things. So being patient, which is really
Yeah, I
hard.
bet that'll affect a lot of people interpersonally, right?
Yeah.
And so I could almost see coaching calls being a lot around interpersonal relationships because if we have Mercury retrograde and it's all this Aries, miscommunications can flare so easily. And they
Yeah.
could lead to fights, right? They could lead to more headbutting than normal.
Being down with headbutts. It's not you. It's the universe conspiring in your favor to get you to reflect, right? So
And release possibly, right? Headbutting has a lot
yeah,
to do
so
with
like the more you
peaceful.
can not take things personally almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's another thing. But rather almost being observing of yourself. Well, that I'm observing how I'm reacting there. That's an interesting observance. Why did I feel the need to drive that hole down? Like so things like that. So your clients might be, wanting to be impulsive and I want to do something and they're getting these sparks, right? And it's like, that's a hell yes, and then help them to reflect on like, what does it look like beyond that too, right? Like, oh my God, I love that fire, right? You're fanning flames of each other. And then like, let's write that in. When are you going to start that? When are you going to start that? Initiations are big right now. When are you going to have clients ask your coaches, ask your people, right? Your clients, when do you want to start that? Right? And you can start it after the Mercury retrograde, whatevs, but like, when do you want to start that? It's a perfect time to initiate and be like, oh, that's a great idea. When should we start this? Kind of write down the,
Okay.
oh, you want to initiate that. When do you want to start that? What do you need to support that? Right? Oh, I love that fire. How do you need me to support that?
Mm-hmm.
What about when you don't feel so bold, right? And because that's what happens after the sun leaves Aries. Everyone's a little less, oh my God, I should buy a boat. You know what I mean? Whatever. But I mean, like, it's initiatory time. So you could really help your clients be like, when do we want to start this? Let's name a month. Let's name a week. Let's name a day. I love that initiation. That's something that's on you that you're feeling fire on right now. And then how can I support you in the future on that? How can I help you feel accountable and empowered to do that thing that you just felt inspired to do,
Mm-hmm. Okay, good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Okay.
goals.
Okay. So I'm hearing that this is going to be a good time to really like tighten up our contracts
Mhm.
clients, because we might have people that are wanting to
Right.
refunds or drop out or,
Yeah.
you know.
People tend to do that more at this time,
Yeah, yeah. So, but that whenever that happens, it's always good, because if we don't have boundaries in place, we don't have our contract solid, then we can adjust it and
Yes.
respond. And then
Yes.
it sounds like there could be a lot of relationship issues coming up as potential coaching topics that our clients are bringing to sessions. So helping them to navigate that, and then just also helping them to start initiating the things that they've been sitting on. And yeah, I think that sounds great, to give people a head start on what to know of things that clients will be bringing and how to deal with that. And then let's go into money. So what's going on with money at this time? I know
Money.
we're not manifesting money. So what are,
Yeah.
I think, well, I guess we're looking at the wound, or maybe our wounding around money, or
Yes. It's wounding around money right now, right? And reparenting yourself, and things that you're kind of re-embracing. You're like, oh, this is a part of me. Really good money dates coming up late April, early May. Venus and Jupiter are going to be together in Taurus. That is like money central sign. Both benefics are there. Like, that's kind of rad. Like, I'm looking forward to it, honestly.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
remember
think
talking
maybe
about that.
maybe check on your fixed friends. Like when I think of money, I think of Taurus, and they are so stubborn, right? And can be so like not in love with change, right?
Yeah.
And what is eclipse season if not change, right? And so
Quick change.
quick change. It's like portals into the future. Things can happen so fast without you manifesting it or trying, right? And Taurus, well, let's just say fixed energy, right? But I think of Taurus a lot with that, is like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? This was a lot of change all at once, and I'm not okay. One, I think that could come up in coaching client type things, right? And also just check on your like Taurus friends, maybe. But in general, right? There's kind of this. So I think that, when in terms of money too, right? So if you're doing your best to like not manifest this money and you're working on wounds, you might expect quick change to come from that reflection, or things that'll happen that you didn't necessarily plan or expect. And that could be jarring sometimes, right? Like, what just happened? Right. So it's kind of like maybe just bracing for impact, for things to happen quickly, maybe in that area also.
Okay.
Yeah. But like money, it's going to be a good money time, like end of April and then beginning of May, like, because that's definitely going to be a good
And that'll
time.
be when Mercury retrograde ends.
Yeah.
And the shadow period is on the way out too.
Mercury retrograde ends April 25th. So if you're trying to nail,
that's the first day of my Sedona retreat. So that'll be like a perfect way to celebrate the end of the retreat.
Yes. And then it's like, and then the sun is out of eclipse, right? Sun is in Taurus at that time. So it's kind of a time to manifest again. And then I want to put down when Venus goes into Taurus, because this is another date. Like, people, if you are starting your like coaching program, right, and you want to start signing clients, invite them. So Taurus loves to be out in nature. Taurus loves an event. Taurus loves something luxurious, right?
Yeah, me too.
So maybe offering something that feels kind of luxe to your clients, that's like really cool. But April 29th is when Venus goes into Taurus, and it's going to be with Jupiter, and wherever Taurus is in your chart, oh my gosh, hit us up. If you're like, we've done readings for your clients, Krista, right? Coaches. So we have your charts. So if you want to hit us up in the comments and be like, oh my God, where's my Taurus? We can give you a little, I will definitely give you a little blurb out of like, oh, it's here. Think of this, because I love doing that, but it's a good time to sign for clients. It's a good time to put yourself out there.
At the end of April.
That's right. Sorry, April 29th. is
Okay.
when Venus goes into Taurus. And
Okay.
that is also a fixed sign. So people who sign during that time are more likely to stay signed, to be committed, and to be fixed in that Taurus time. So
Okay.
that's really good.
It'll
That's
also feel really good
news.
for all of these people who are getting pushed with change quickly that they don't like. This will feel like a relief, right? It'll be Taurus and slow and Venus, and things will feel more at your pace then, you know.
Okay. I was gonna actually start a 30-day like daily selling challenge for myself starting May 1st. So this feels like that's just so in alignment.
Brilliant. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and that's through to like May, really like, I guess the week later than that. Yeah. So like May 22nd, 23rd, right? So April, the end of April to May 21st is like really good for signing people and, you know, doing those things. And then there's a Venus Sun Cazimi in Gemini. That's another great transit day.
What does that mean?
So Venus and Sun, when they come together, it's another kind of eclipse, but it's said to be in the heart of the sun. And Gemini is online, right? All the messenger, right? Online stuff. So it's another good day to make offerings of abundance and receive abundance online, texting, whatever, right? And people also being like, that sounds really good for me. I want that. You know, it's another I want that sort of transit. So
Okay. And what day is that?
okay, let me find that out
Okay.
to get the exact Cazimi here, because I will get it. I think it's like, let's see, we have 528, 520. Okay, it's like 531.
Lacey work.
Okay, here it is. June 1st, actually, June 1st is the Cazimi. June 1st.
First.
Well, that's easy to remember.
Yeah, they travel at the same pace, so getting them in the heart of is, you gotta chase them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we covered a lot today. We went through different ideas for around creating content for your business, stuff to expect that could be happening with your coaching clients, things going on with money and our personal wounds. As we start to wrap up, any other things you think that is essential for our audience to know with this retrograde and eclipse season?
Well, April 10th, there is a Saturn-Mars conjunction, and that one can feel problematic a little bit because it's both malefics coming together. It's good for breakthroughs, right? Breaking through walls. Mars is going to break through some walls there.
Breaking bones.
Breaking bones. So when these two come together, people can experience more injuries around this time. Like,
it just that was when you were talking about breaking through walls. I'm like, please don't physically try to break through a wall.
No.
Break all of your bones.
No, but if you see friends who are having like weird accidents, this is part of the reason why. You know, like right now with both malefics in the same sign, it can be it's like accident prone, happens whenever, you know, like,
right, take it
so
easy.
be aware. April 10th is like a hot day for like, you know, be careful.
Friction.
Don't be on a boat.
Mars.
Yeah.
And then Saturn can make us feel like we're not doing enough, we're working hard enough, right? So the planet of, you know, boundaries and discipline coming into the, you know, god of war, you know, like they're just bound to be power struggles.
Yeah.
Right. And so
okay. Yeah. So everyone watch out for April 10th.
Yes.
Do not break down any walls or go on any boats.
Yeah, I know, right? And then 2 days
stay
after
safe
that,
out there, folks.
Yeah, 2 days after that.
Do not leave your bedroom.
Yeah.
Do you have a bubble you could wear? Because I'm just
Put yourself in bubble wrap. Yes.
I want to do that. It's in a problematic place for my chart that I've been looking at for months now, that I'm like, that looks scary to me. But me personally, because of my degrees, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But 2 days after that is a good day. Like what seems bad turns out for good. So
Always.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you. This was so much fun and insanely helpful for me. So I hope everyone watching / listening got some takeaways, and you guys in the Facebook group, or if you're listening to the podcast, you can DM me and share what came up for you, what breakthroughs, ideas. We'd love to hear all of them. And then just so you all know, Mary and Lacey are our personal astrology coaches in the Born to Coach Training Academy, and they do all the students' birth chart readings because we've just found it so insanely helpful to help you build the most successful and pleasureful coaching business when you can really tap into the power of astrology. So if you're planning on joining the Born to Coach Training Academy, you're going to get a personal reading with Mary and Lacey. If you're not in the Born to Coach Training Academy yet and you want to book a reading directly with Mary and Lacey, what's the best way to find both of you?
TeamAquarius.com. That's like our headquarters. We got Zodiac playlists, we got booking, we got everything. TeamAquarius.com.
Yes.
TeamAquarius.com is the place to be.
Yes.
Okay.
That's us, Team Aquarius.
Okay. Great. Well, I'm always sending people your way because I don't think there should be anybody else out in the world doing birth chart readings except both you. You guys are the pros. No, that
our favorite Capricorn goddess.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And yeah, we'll meet again in a couple of months and talk about what to expect for whatever that season we're going to be in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks, Krista.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.